My beloved sisters and brothers, I have to post this today, and I'll try to make it short, although it probably won't be, but I just have to post it because it's burning within me to warn. And after that, it is, of course, up to every individual person to make their own choice about what they believe and follow. But this is a revelation from God and a call to wake up and to prepare anyone who would listen. A quick thank you to all my brothers and sisters on social media, Facebook, all over the world for being so diligent and going against the grain, so to speak, so often on certain views of this world and posting what often amounts to opposite opinion, which is, of course, brings a lot of resistance, argument, accusation, persecution from others. But I'm grateful that you have been persistent in this matter. Folks, this entire world situation happening right now is so much more complex than anyone really knows.
The first debate, we had millions of people fact-checking, so I expect we'll have millions more fact-checking because, you know, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
You know, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail. Thing that I wanted to say, because I was very honored, very, very honored when I heard that President Bill Clinton and Secretary Hillary Clinton was coming today, and I think it's appropriate to say, and I'd like you to stand up. I'd like you to stand up.
That the only way to even come close to figuring out what the controlling elite, and they are behind all this, are really doing is to think in the biggest possible picture and to consider that they have going on right now in every country distraction after distraction. And I think it must be at least 85% of the people I see around me anyway are completely falling for all of this and not seeing a bigger picture. Now, I don't get revelation from God per se as, you know, prophecy, but what I do get is strong confirmation when I pray, and I have discovered through my own due diligence a certain truth. God will confirm it. And these last days' events, there are things that God's just letting me know that I have no way of knowing otherwise. And this is one of those things where I'm sure of this, so I give this as a warning. People of America, especially, I will tell you and also prove this, if you stick with me here for this video, that Donald J. Trump is not on your side at all whatsoever. He's very fake and false, and we can prove this if you'll stay with me. He's not with true spirit-filled Christians at all. In fact, he associates with the Catholic Church. People are letting, and I'm not condemning any particular church, okay? There are people probably within every denomination that are spirit-filled people. Donald Trump is not with Jesus Christ, though, and I will show you that. People are letting their last hope that they're holding on to for this world, for this country to be saved, they're letting this blind them from the blatantly obvious truth and actually very wicked and diabolical plan that has now been revealed to me, hence I make this video, to take down this country. Now, this is being done on many levels, but let me do my best here. Trump is a very, very good actor. I'll give him this. He had me fooled for a very long time until finally God answered on this. And some of the fighting between him and the Democrats is real. I think it is. But otherwise, his true loyalties and what he's doing in the program he's following, which he flat out told us, and I'll show that here, lie with the Jewish Kabbalists, the Kabbalists, the Jesuit order, who are with Satan and not with God. Now, before anyone gets excited, if you're a believer and born-again Christian, your hope is in Jesus Christ, not Donald Trump or this country or anything else. And Jesus is coming very soon now. But these things must first happen, apparently, according to God's plan or will, I'm saying, because it is happening.
This magazine, every single solitary year, puts out some sort of symbolism and cryptic message telling the elites what their plans are, while they realize that most Americans and most people aren't initiated, so they don't understand this. But this was their cover when Trump became president. Do you see Donald and his hair holding the scepter in the amulet, sitting on the American flag rolled up under him like a toilet on the United States? Everything is great. He's secretly fighting all the enemies of the world in the background, and yet he's going to roll the military into every city and town and give you and everyone you know a vaccine that's never been tested whatsoever at all, and some people will have to receive more than 1 or 2 or 3 of these vaccines. That's a fact. Maybe you didn't know it, but after watching this, you will. Or maybe you won't. I don't know.
One issue that has come up is once you do have a vaccine, how do you properly distribute it? How do you get it out quickly to millions?
Well, when we have the vaccine, we have the military all lined up, and the military is going to be doing it in a very powerful manner. These are people that don't usually do vaccines. They do soldiers, and they do lots of other things that, frankly, are more difficult. But we have our general, and logistically, he's all set. Tony, do you want to say something about that? Vaccine, we have the military all lined up.
God in his faithfulness has revealed the whole end game and plan for this country, for Mystery Babylon anyway, of Trump now and what's going on in this country. And it involves our own, very own military participating in it. Yes, it does. To take over city by city from within, brothers and sisters. Pay attention. They're doing this very diabolically. Actually, it's very brilliant, but it's evil. From within. So that hardly a shot is fired here in a civil war, and it has begun already in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Now, what am I talking about? Well, I'm going to show you. But if you have your heart set on Trump as your savior, you're going to be let down. This is going to be bad news for you. However, truth is truth. And let me reveal to you all what God has revealed to me about this whole deception. That, by the way, is going so smoothly that I cannot help but think that the people behind this must be very, very pleased at the lack of resistance of how well they have already now destroyed this country. And our news media doesn't report it, so you won't know unless you do a lot of digging what's really going on across this country. The first statement I will make is that we need to understand and look at what Trump has not done during all this in the midst of this crisis, and then look at what he has done and put the two together in one big picture, because I assure everyone that he is not what he says that he is, and he himself has made this very clear. If a person removes the false patriotism blinders for a moment long enough to see.
Paula, good morning.
We have to act. We can't wait and play games and nothing gets done.
President Trump stunned lawmakers on both sides of the aisle Wednesday with his overarching demands for gun control.
Like, take the firearms first and then go to court.
After Vice President Mike Pence suggested court procedures for removing guns from dangerous people, Trump caught him and many in the room off guard by seeming to dismiss due process.
I like taking the guns early, so you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
So these awards are given to me by the Jewish community for different things, and this is the Tree of Life, which is a very big award in terms of everything that I stand for. It means so much to me, and a lot of times I'll have friends of mine come in, Jewish, and they will see the Tree of Life and they'll say, wow, what a great thing. Likewise, right over here, this is the Shalom humanitarian award, and that was presented to me also. And these are different awards I've had over the years for different things I've done.
This is the Tree of Life, which is a very big award.
Notice as he says the Tree of Life, look at the symbol he makes with his hand. I find that interesting. The MAGA OK symbol.
"9/11 served one very large purpose, and this was to foster and build this patriotism movement that we see going on now, so that this guy, Donald J. Trump, the last president of the United States of America, could usher in the destruction of this country. This has always been the plan. It doesn't matter who ended up there in this position. It's always been the plan."
We're going to connect the dots for anybody who has ears to hear. Some people are going to want to dispute this, but we're not going to argue with anyone. This is what's going on. There is no Q, there is no anonymous that has any information about this government or anything else that's going on. They have been leading you down a path of lies, all to hide the truth. And here's what's really going on. FEMA has more power than the President of the United States or the Congress. It has the power to suspend laws, move entire populations, arrest and detain citizens without a warrant, and hold them without trial. It can seize property, food supplies, transportation systems, and can suspend the Constitution. When a state of emergency is declared, Executive Order 11921 allows the Federal Emergency Preparedness Agency to develop plans to establish control over the mechanisms of production and distribution of energy sources, wages, salaries, credit, and the flow of money in the U.S. financial institution in any undefined national emergency. It also provides that when a state of emergency is declared by the President, Congress cannot review this action for 6 months. Listen to what he's going to say now. This is right after he signed the national emergency into effect.
It is only the beginning of what we're really doing, and now we're in a different phase.
This is only the beginning of what we're really doing, because what they're really doing is putting everything in place.
And he has systematically done under this great deception ever since this false flag pandemic started, gone along with this, and actually greatly helped in the destruction of this country, and is continuing to do so in the final throes of our last throes of any kind of life of freedom here. I am now 100% sure, because of the revelation of God, of course, that the plan is to, through these vaccines, remember, Trump's Operation Warp Speed with the military, and through the riots both now, to bring in our own troops into every major city, eventually under the guise of help, protection, and health and welfare. But it's all a big lie and deception, because once they are in your city, they will never leave. This is a takeover, a military takeover, that's leading to full military martial law, city by city, and we are letting them in. We are welcoming them in. Now, people, we see this in New Zealand and Australia. I don't know how much more evidence anyone needs to see that this is the plan for every country, and it's going to go according to the plan of the elite who have had this plan for many presidents past already and many years past. If you're not preparing right now for great unrest and civil disorder like you have never imagined in your lifetime for this country, I don't know what more you need to see. Wake up. Your hope is not in this country. It's not in this president. It's not in any political system, because long ago they have been hijacked. And I tell you that this country's sins have reached heaven, and that's the final nail. This is God's judgment. And like it or not, the country's burning, and it's burning as we speak, by the way. Now, here is the great danger. If you don't believe this now, you will be living in the midst of great turmoil, riots, civil war, and food shortage, and famine, and pestilence, and all manner of destruction by November, December time frame this year. Yes, brothers and sisters. And then, if you're just waking up, it will be far too late. I make this video to warn, because it is my duty to Jesus, but also to call for prayer like never before. There is, saints of God, in my spirit and revelation from God, no stopping this, but we can live within it and still be blessed by God and help others to Jesus and to the salvation of their souls.